Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so glad you're joining us today. If you've ever found yourself wanting to totally change how you tackle difficult things, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating idea: how to take laziness, which, let's be honest, is kind of the default state for a lot of us, and actually transform it into a deep, genuine craving for doing hard work. We're going to pull out the core lessons from Jim Stovall's story, The Ultimate Gift, and use it as a literal blueprint to rewire how your brain works.
So, let me ask you this right out of the gate. Is it actually possible to love hard work? Like, when your alarm is blaring at 5 a.m., can your brain really be wired to crave that daily grind? It sounds a bit crazy, but the answer is yes. And the secret to doing it is hidden inside a really extraordinary, emotional story about a billionaire's last will and testament. It basically gives us the exact steps to bypass our brain's natural laziness, and we're going to break it all down.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our blueprint starts off in a pretty bizarre setting. Just picture a funeral. A wildly successful billionaire named Howard Reed has just passed away. But if you look around the room, nobody's really crying. They're all just sitting there, eagerly waiting to find out what they get in the will. And then this young guy walks in. He's wearing dark sunglasses indoors, smoking a cigarette, basically acting like he's at a VIP club instead of his own grandfather's funeral. This is Jason. He's our main character, and he is the absolute definition of lazy entitlement. And his arrival kicks off the central mystery of what's going to happen to this massive fortune.
To really appreciate this transformation, we have to look at where Jason starts. It's a huge contrast. Before the will is read, Jason is living entirely off a trust fund. It's basically the ultimate peak of cheap dopamine. He can buy literally anything he wants, but he's completely bored, superficial, and just feels empty inside. He expects a massive payday, but instead, Howard's trusted friend, Mr. Hamilton, stands up and drops a total bombshell on the greedy family. The older brothers, they get absolutely nothing. But for Jason, Mr. Hamilton reveals that he's about to be sent on a very heavy, mysterious journey.
So instead of handing over a giant check, Mr. Hamilton hands Jason a small box. Inside are a few letters and a DVD. And when Jason plays the video, his grandfather appears on the screen with this exact message: "I have prepared some gifts for you, but to get them, you must pass my tests." Well, Jason is furious. He resents his grandfather, he hates the idea of playing games, and he actually storms right out. But eventually his girlfriend convinces him that these gifts probably mean billions of dollars, so he reluctantly agrees, basically throwing himself into a series of deeply uncomfortable psychological challenges.
Mr. Hamilton doesn't just give him a to-do list, he lays out a really strict three-part roadmap. First is the test of work, then the test of people, and finally, the test of charity. The suspense here is intense, right? Like, what on earth is this billionaire grandfather trying to teach a kid who has literally never worked a single day in his life? Well, it starts with a massive reality check. Jason shows up at the airport totally expecting a private jet and is absolutely furious when he's handed a standard economy ticket to Texas. His entire comfort zone is just instantly shattered.
The second Jason lands in Texas, he's greeted by a grumpy old man who literally wakes him up at 5 a.m. with an electric shock. Test 1 is officially underway. His job? Digging these massive holes and setting heavy wooden fence posts in the scorching heat. Now think about your own 5 a.m. wake-ups, or that incredibly hard project sitting on your desk right now. At first, Jason's brain totally rejects the friction. He's just checking his phone, complaining. But then, a crazy neurological shift happens. The old man knocks down a section of Jason's crooked fence and forces him to do it over. Something just clicks. Jason actually starts taking immense pride in making that fence perfectly straight. After a month of agonizing physical labor, he doesn't just tolerate the work anymore. He genuinely loves it.
Now, what's really interesting about this next phase is how incredibly fast the superficial parts of Jason's life are just stripped away. He flies back from Texas feeling super proud, fully expecting a massive cash reward. But nope. Welcome to test 2. Mr. Hamilton completely freezes his trust fund. His sports car gets towed. His so-called friends completely ghost him, and his girlfriend dumps him the absolute second his credit card declines. He is dead broke, sleeping on a park bench, and it's right there at rock bottom that he meets a fiery little girl named Emily and her mother, Alexia. After chasing away a vagrant in the park, he actually strikes up a real, genuine friendship with them. For the first time, he experiences the true value of human connection, without a single dollar to his name.
So Jason passes the friendship test, but Mr. Hamilton wastes no time hitting him with test 3. He hands Jason exactly $500. But this isn't trust fund money. This is the literal, physical cash Jason earned through his own blood, sweat, and tears out there building that fence in Texas. Hamilton tells him he cannot spend a single dime of it on himself. He has to give it to someone who's truly in need. And this sets up a massive emotional pivot for our guy who used to be the most selfish heir on the planet.
Jason heads back out to the park and spots the same vagrant he chased away earlier, dropping a stolen purse. Jason recognizes it instantly. It's Alexia's. When he opens it up, he finds an unpaid hospital bill for $600. So he rushes over to the hospital, and that's where he discovers a truly devastating secret. Emily, that spunky little girl from the park bench, is lying there in a hospital bed. She's lost her hair, she has terminal cancer. This moment just shatters Jason's ego. He finally looks outside of himself, and without even a second thought, he secretly uses his hard-earned $500 to help pay down her medical bill.
But the tests aren't over. They push him even further. Jason is suddenly sent to a remote library in Ecuador. Now, this is a dangerous place, but it's also incredibly heavy emotionally. It's the exact spot where his father died years ago while running an errand for his grandfather. Jason had spent his whole life blaming his grandfather for that death. But while he's in that library, he finds an old letter. It was one he wrote as a little kid, and it says, "Dad, for my Christmas present, I just want you to come and be with me." Reading those words, Jason is hit by this powerful realization. Emily had just recently told him that was her exact same Christmas wish. In that moment of just pure empathy, seeing past his own pain, he finally forgives his grandfather. Jason rushes back home, but time is really running out. Emily is fading fast, and it's clear she isn't going to make it to December. So Jason does something pretty incredible. He begs Mr. Hamilton to let him use the private jet and some funds. He flies Emily and Alexia back to that ranch in Texas and puts together this beautiful, elaborate, totally fake Christmas just for her. The whole ranch is decorated, and Emily gets her ultimate wish, taking one final horseback ride. It's this deeply moving climax to the story. And tragically, just shortly after that beautiful day, Emily passes away.
By the time Jason returns to Mr. Hamilton, he is a completely changed man. And it's finally time for the last test. Hamilton just looks at him and asks, "What is your dream?" Jason admits that honestly, he used to have absolutely no idea. But now he wants to build affordable hotels right next to hospitals so that the families of patients don't have to go broke just to be near their loved ones. Hamilton smiles. He realizes Jason has finally unlocked the one thing money could never buy: genuine empathy. That was the answer all along. Jason earns $100 million to fund his project, and ultimately he inherits the entire billionaire estate.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core concept of our explainer today: purpose. It is literally the ultimate antidote to procrastination. Think about it for a second. Jason didn't magically get a new brain implanted, he experienced a massive psychological shift. Laziness isn't some permanent personality trait you're stuck with. It's just what happens when your brain views work as a meaningless punishment. The very second Jason found a deep, personal meaning behind his actions, first it was the pride in the fence, then his love for Emily, and finally a mission to help other families, his laziness was just completely neutralized.
So the crucial point is that we can actually extract a blueprint from this story to rewire our own minds. The source material distills this down into 3 super actionable psychological lessons. Number 1, find meaning behind the pain. Hard work hurts, but if you attach a powerful why to it, that pain actually becomes a pleasure. Number 2, value relationships over money. Isolation will absolutely kill your drive, whereas the positive energy of real connection fuels your ambition. And number 3, live for something bigger, because having a purpose is the ultimate engine for daily, relentless motivation.
Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually practice these habits in my own daily life? Well, the creator of our source material recommends diving into the book The Art of Work to explore these concepts even further. They also point out that surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded people is totally vital for making this transformation stick. To help with that, they've actually put together a community book club subscription for 99 rupees, where members can jump in, discuss these ideas, join live Q&A sessions, and really hold each other accountable for doing the hard work. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, really important thought to chew on. Take a look at your daily tasks, the grind, the stuff you constantly find yourself procrastinating on. Ask yourself, what is the personal meaning behind the daily pain you endure? If you don't have an answer to that right now, well, that's exactly where your laziness is hiding. Find that meaning, find your purpose, and watch your brain completely rewire itself to conquer anything. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and keep learning.